I have a feeling Port Charles may be standing on the edge of a storm so dangerous that even Sonny Corinthos might not be able to control it anymore. And what makes this even more shocking is that the one person who could change everything may not be Jason, may not be Dante, may not even be Carly. It could be a mysterious young man named Joe, someone who seems to arrive at exactly the moment Sonny's empire starts shaking from the inside out. I can't say anything for certain, but it seems like Sidwell's power may be growing faster than Sonny expected. For years, I have watched Sonny survive betrayals, ambushes, family wars, police pressure, and enemies who thought they could take him down. But this time, something feels different. This time, Sonny may not just be fighting one rival. He could be facing a network, a movement, maybe even a carefully built takeover that has been waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And if that is true, then Sonny may be in more trouble than anyone wants to admit. Right now, it seems like Sidwell and Cullum could be the main threats circling Sonny's territory. But I keep wondering if they are only the visible part of something much deeper. With Pascal and Cassius possibly stepping into the picture, this may no longer be a simple mob rivalry. It could become a full-scale power shift, one where Sonny's old rules no longer matter and his enemies no longer fear his name. That is what makes Jason's situation so dangerous. If Jason is locked away, trapped, or unable to stand beside Sonny, then Sonny loses more than muscle. He loses the one person who understands his world without needing every move explained. Jason has always been the silent wall between Sonny and total destruction. Without him, Sonny may be forced to depend on people he does not fully trust. And that is where everything may start to crack. Rick may be nearby, but I cannot ignore the possibility that Rick and Sonny's old wounds could reopen at the worst possible time. No matter how much history they share, there is always tension beneath the surface. I could see Rick helping Sonny one moment and challenging him the next. It would not surprise me if their alliance turns fragile, especially if Rick believes Sonny is making reckless decisions or hiding something important. Then there is Ethan. I keep asking myself whether Ethan is truly on Sonny's side, or whether he may be hiding a deeper loyalty. It seems like Ethan could still be connected to Sidwell in some way. I am not saying he is definitely working against Sonny, but the timing feels suspicious. If Sonny trusts the wrong person while Jason is unavailable, Sidwell may not need to defeat Sonny directly. He may only need to let Sonny's circle collapse from within. And then Joe appears. I think Joe's arrival could be the twist nobody expected. A young man entering Port Charles while Sonny's power is under attack feels too important to ignore. Maybe Joe comes in as part of a secret rescue mission involving Anna. Maybe he proves himself as someone brave, sharp, and willing to take risks. Maybe Mac is the one who finds him and brings him closer to the people of Port Charles. However Joe arrives, I feel like his presence could create shockwaves because Joe may not be just another newcomer. It seems like Joe's identity could be tied directly to Sonny. And if Joe is truly Sonny's long-lost son, then this could change the entire balance of power in Port Charles. I keep thinking about Sonny's past, about the life he had before everything became so heavy with crime, loyalty, blood, and family secrets. Sonny loved many women when he was younger, and it is possible that even he may not know every consequence of those relationships. That idea alone is explosive. Sonny may have a child out there he never knew about, a son, maybe even a daughter. But in this case, Joe could be the one who walks into Port Charles carrying a truth that Sonny is not ready to hear. And if Joe is connected to Brenda, the emotional damage could be even bigger. Sonny and Brenda's history has always carried passion, pain, and unfinished business. So if Joe turns out to be Sonny and Brenda's son, I can only imagine how deeply this revelation could shake Sonny. I do not think Sonny would simply accept it easily. He may want proof. He may feel guilt. He may feel anger. He may wonder why the truth was hidden. And if Brenda knew, or if someone around Brenda knew, then Sonny may start questioning years of his life. I could see him looking back and wondering how much was stolen from him. But Joe may not arrive as a helpless son looking for his father. That is what makes this theory so interesting to me. Joe could be dangerous. He could be bold, unpredictable, and reckless in a way that reminds everyone of Sonny at his most intense. If Joe has grown up without Sonny, then he may carry resentment. He may not want love. He may want answers. He may want power. And maybe that is exactly why his arrival could be both a blessing and a threat. I keep thinking about Dante. Dante's story proves that Sonny's hidden family history can explode in violent ways. Dante did not always know Sonny was his father. In the past, Dante even moved against Sonny before the truth came out. When that truth was finally revealed, everything changed. So I wonder whether Joe could enter Port Charles with a similar emotional trap already set. Maybe he does not know who Sonny is at first, or maybe he knows exactly who Sonny is and has been watching him from a distance. If Joe knows, then his silence could mean something. It could mean he has been waiting. It could mean he has a plan. It could mean he wants to test Sonny before revealing himself. Or maybe someone else has been using Joe's identity as a weapon. That is where Sidwell's role becomes even more suspicious. What if Sidwell already knows who Joe is? What if Sidwell brings Joe into the conflict because he knows Sonny's weakest point is not territory, money, or guns, but family? I could see Sidwell using Joe as bait, as leverage, or as a psychological weapon. Sonny can fight enemies, but when blood is involved, his judgment often becomes complicated. If Sidwell understands that, then Joe's arrival may not be a coincidence at all. Still, I also wonder if Joe could become the unexpected hope Sonny needs. Sonny is not the same man he once was. He has survived too much. He has lost too much. He may still be feared, but age, pressure, and betrayal could be catching up with him. Maybe this is the moment when the Corinthos organization begins moving toward a new generation. Maybe Joe's arrival hints that Sonny's empire needs an heir, someone with the nerve to challenge Sidwell and the ruthlessness to survive in the mob world. But would Sonny ever hand power to a son he barely knows? That question feels dangerous. Michael has his own history with Sonny, and Dante's life has never truly belonged to the mob. Christina has fire, but her path is complicated. If Joe appears and carries Sonny's blood along with Brenda's emotional intensity, then he could become a wild card unlike anyone else in the Corinthos family. He might not ask permission. He might simply step into the chaos and prove he belongs there. And no one expected that a stranger could be the one to rebalance the mob war. I can imagine Joe saving someone, making one bold move, or uncovering one secret that forces everyone to look at him differently. Maybe Sonny sees something in Joe's eyes that reminds him of himself. Maybe Brenda's name comes up, and suddenly the entire room changes. Maybe a DNA test becomes the ticking bomb nobody wants to open. The truth could be about to be exposed, but I have a feeling it may come with consequences Sonny cannot control. Because if Joe is Sonny's son, then every enemy Sonny has may immediately see Joe as a target. Sidwell could try to recruit him. Cullum could try to eliminate him. Pascal and Cassius could see him as the weak point in Sonny's armor. And if Joe is impulsive, he may walk straight into danger before Sonny can stop him. But if Joe is smarter than he looks, he may already know how to play this game. That may be the most terrifying possibility of all. What if Joe does not come to Port Charles to find family? What if he comes to claim what he believes belongs to him? What if he thinks Sonny abandoned him? What if someone raised him on lies about Sonny, turning him into a weapon long before Sonny ever knew he existed? I cannot ignore the chance that Joe may arrive with anger in his heart and a plan in his pocket. At the same time, I feel like Joe could be the only person reckless enough to scare Sidwell. Sonny may be careful because he has too much to lose, but Joe may not have those same limits. If he has nothing to lose, then he could become unpredictable in a way Sidwell cannot calculate. That could make him dangerous, but it could also make him exactly what Sonny needs. Still, every possible path comes with risk. Joe could become Sonny's heir. He could become Sonny's enemy. He could expose Brenda's secret. He could destroy what remains of Sonny's trust in the people around him. He could save Anna and become a hero, or he could be pulled into a darker game before anyone realizes what is happening. It seems like his arrival may open a door that cannot be closed again. And now I keep coming back to one chilling thought. If Joe really is Sonny's lost son, and if Sidwell already knows the truth before Sonny does,